Texas has always been a go-to destination for people looking for warmer weather, better job opportunities, and no state income tax. But something very surprising is happening in 2025. People are starting to actually leave Texas. And what is one of the places these people are moving to? Well, it's Kansas City. But why? What is it that is attracting people away from Texas into Kansas City when Texas used to be considered one of the best places to live? In this video, we're gonna dive deep into the housing market, job opportunities, cost of living, and lifestyle to determine once and for all which place is actually better in 2025. So this is a hot topic, and I know it's gonna get some people really fired up. When people think of moving somewhere new, Texas is usually at the top of their list. It has major cities like Austin, Dallas, Houston, tons of job opportunities, and no state income tax. All of that sounds really great. But if you've been paying attention, you will have noticed that a lot of people have actually started moving out of Texas, especially over the last couple of years. And here's the thing, Kansas City, it's becoming a major alternative for people who are looking for affordability, more job opportunities, and a pretty great quality of life. So today we are going to put the two side by side. We're gonna compare the housing market, the cost of living, the economy, the weather, and just the overall lifestyle. So let's get into it. So first we have to talk about why people are leaving Texas. Number one is the cost of living and the rising home prices. Texas used to be the place where you could get a huge house for a very affordable price, but that really isn't the case anymore. The cost of living has started to skyrocket, especially in cities like Austin and Dallas. Austin's home prices have doubled within the last 10 years. And even though prices have slightly cooled, they are still way higher than they were 10 years ago. The median home price in Texas is about $345,000. But in cities like Austin and Dallas, that number actually jumps to more like $450,000 to $500,000. And meanwhile, the median home price in Kansas City is around $245,000. That is a pretty big difference. So let's say you're a first-time home buyer with a budget of $300,000. In Austin, you're probably looking at either a small starter home or even a condo. In Kansas City, with that kind of budget, you could actually probably get like a 3 to 4 bedroom home in a pretty decent neighborhood with a yard and a garage. And for investors, Kansas City is one of the best markets for rental properties because it's still super affordable and rent prices are steadily rising. Number two is high property taxes in Texas versus Missouri. Now, a lot of people love Texas because there is no state income tax. And yes, that does sound pretty great until you look at their property taxes. Texas actually has some of the highest property taxes in the entire United States. In Texas, the average property tax is 1.8 to 2.5 depending on the county. So that means if you own a $500,000 home, you're paying around $10,000 just in property taxes alone. In Missouri, the property tax rate is around 0.9%. So if you own a home in Kansas City for $500,000, that's gonna be about $4,500 in property taxes. So that is less than half of what you would pay in Texas. And that is a huge amount of savings over time. Number three is Texas weather. Let's be real, Texas weather can be rough. Summers are brutal. I remember personally when I went to Austin, Texas during the summer, and it was literally like 110 degrees there. And this heat can last for several months. Severe weather can also be a concern for some. Texas can experience hurricanes, tornadoes, and flooding multiple times a year. I've also heard that power outages have started to become a major issue. Does anyone remember the Texas grid power failures in 2021? That was a huge wake-up call for a lot of people. Meanwhile, Kansas City does have all 4 seasons. Yes, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do hate wintertime in Kansas City, but it's a lot better than places like Chicago or Minneapolis. Summers in Kansas City can be pretty warm too, but they're not 110 degrees, and I can stay outside for way longer than 3 minutes. We also don't have the same number of natural disasters that Texas seems to experience. So now that we've talked about a few reasons why people are moving out of Texas, let's now talk about the reasons why people are moving out of Texas into Kansas City. Number one is Kansas City has a very strong growing job market with lower competition. Don't get me wrong, I know that Texas also has a really good job market, but I honestly think Kansas City's is better. We have some thriving industries such as healthcare, tech and startups, and finance and logistics. Kansas City's job market is booming, and if you have been thinking about switching careers or moving here, now is the time to definitely do it. So let's break down some of the growing industries in Kansas City right now if you are looking for a job opportunity. The healthcare industry in Kansas City is on fire, especially in the tech space. A company called Health IT Leaders just opened a new service hub in Overland Park. This is bringing in a ton of high-paying jobs, and some of them are even hitting 6 figures. Plus, the city is home to over 100 digital health companies and a network of 25,000 professionals working in health tech. So if you're in IT, data analytics, or healthcare administration, there are plenty of job openings for you here. Kansas City is also quickly becoming a major tech hub with over 4,000 companies bringing in a $25 billion economic impact each year. The tech sector is growing 10% annually, and major companies like Amazon and CVS are expanding their presence in this area. Cybersecurity in particular is exploding. This field is expected to see 18% growth by 2026. Kansas City is also a key hub for shipping and distribution, and companies are definitely taking full advantage of this. OpenStore just announced a 113,000 square foot fulfillment center, which will bring in dozens of new jobs. There's also a massive new distribution center that is coming and expected to create nearly 1,500 jobs. So the bottom line is, if you're looking for a city with great job opportunities, low cost of living, and tons of room for growth, Kansas City definitely needs to be on your radar. And here's the best part. Because Kansas City's cost of living is so much lower, your salary goes a lot further than it would in Texas. The other thing that I think surprises a lot of people about Kansas City when I say this is that there are actually a lot of things to do in Kansas City. A lot of people think Kansas City is in the middle of nowhere and we have barbecue and sports, which, don't get me wrong, we do have a lot of barbecue and we also do have a lot of sports fans. But Kansas City actually has so much to offer than just that. So I am going to break down some of the best things that you can do in Kansas City so that you can get a good idea of it. First is the Power and Light District, which I would say is the heart of the Kansas City nightlife. This area is home to over 50 bars, restaurants, and live music venues, which makes it the go-to place for a night out. There's also a lot of really good restaurants around the Power and Light District, like the Bristol, which is a really classy seafood place, and there's also No Other Pub and Yard House. Kansas City also has some of the best rooftop bars in my opinion. Percheron Rooftop Bar in the Crossroads Hotel is definitely one of the places you must visit if you are ever in Kansas City. There's also 901, which is at the Lowe's Hotel, and the Mercury Room is definitely another one that you have to visit if you're in Kansas City. And if you are a pickleball lover, there are plenty of different places to play pickleball here as well. One of my favorites is actually Serve KC, which is out in the Overland Park area. This is a mix of indoor and outdoor pickleball courts, but there's also tons of different other activities that you can do at Serve as well. And they have a really good food menu. Chicken and Pickle is of course a really good one too. They have a location in North Kansas City and then also one in Overland Park. They probably have more that I don't know about either, but they also have indoor and outdoor courts. And then there's also quite a few outdoor parks and trails throughout Kansas City as well. One of my favorite parks, which I just talked about in one of my most recent videos, is English Landing Park, which is located in Parkville, Missouri. This park goes along the Missouri River. It's gravel, it's beautiful, and you can walk, run, bike. There's plenty of room for activities throughout this park. Another well-known park is Luce Park. There's a beautiful rose garden here. There's plenty of green space, and a lot of people will go down there and do photo sessions. And then Berkeley Riverfront Park is another really good one as well. This is a great park near the downtown area. It also runs right next to the river, and it's a pretty decent sized walking trail. As far as food goes in Kansas City, you have plenty of options. I'm really just gonna name a few of them because this would take me like 45 minutes to go through all of my favorite restaurants here. But of course, I'm gonna talk about some barbecue first. So we have Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. This is probably my favorite barbecue place. I've talked about this before. Their Z-Man sandwich is insane. Char Bar is also a really cool place too. They serve barbecue, but they also have a lot of games, and they do have pickleball there as well. Oh, and then Q39 is really good too. I kind of think of them as more of an upscale barbecue place. And then moving on from barbecue, let's talk about something else. There's Eddie V's on the Plaza, which is a very upscale restaurant. It's definitely a very romantic dinner date opportunity. One time me and my boyfriend went there and got this huge like 3-layer seafood tower. It was so good. It was very expensive, but it was very good. There's also the Parlor in the Crossroads, which is basically like a building with a bunch of different restaurants on the inside, and then there's a couple of bars. There's one upstairs, one downstairs. They have like a rooftop area too, so it's a really good place to go with your friends and play games, and everyone can try different foods. And then Blue Sushi, there's actually one like right next to the Power and Light District. This is a really good date night place too, because you can go to Blue Sushi, get some really good food, and then walk right over to the Power and Light District and have a fun night over there. And then of course, I would assume that everyone on here knows that Kansas City is a very big sports town. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, which I'm hoping that by the time I post this video, we have won the 3rd Super Bowl in a row. Hopefully I didn't just jinx it. We also have the Kansas City Royals at the Kauffman Stadium, which is literally right next to Arrowhead. We have Sporting KC, which is a really nice facility. It's pretty new and it's really fun to be able to watch soccer there. And then for concerts, we have the T-Mobile Center, we have the Starlight Theater, and the Uptown Theater, which is a very historic venue. It's actually really cool on the inside. So to wrap that all up, I would definitely say that Kansas City has something for everyone when it comes to being able to do stuff. And if you love traveling, Kansas City is very centrally located, especially the Kansas City Northlane area. It's really only gonna take you anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 minutes maybe to get to the airport, and you get the huge KCI airport. It's amazing. So after watching this video, I want you to comment below, would you choose Texas or would you choose Kansas City? Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. It helps me out to continue to grow my channel and reach more people like you. And make sure to come back next week because I post a new video every week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.